I'd just like to thank Storyblocks for sponsoring this video. Let's talk about camera gear. As a photographer and as someone that makes YouTube videos and as someone that has been fortunate enough to travel quite a lot recently, I have a lot of camera gear. And I'm sure you do too, if you're watching this. So if you're someone that likes to make stuff, whether it's for the internet or you're just taking pictures or you're with family and friends or you're on business trip, whatever you're doing that requires camera gear and requires you traveling with it, and you're a fan of convenience, then I think you're gonna like this video. I'm gonna go over everything I do when traveling, the cameras I take, audio gear, accessories, camera bags, the whole shebang, because recently I've managed to travel quite a lot. I've been to China, I've been to California, I'm going to Vienna very soon, and I think I might have a camera gear travel organization system dialed. I'm going to share with you my do's and don'ts, pros and cons, and everything in between, that if you're someone that travels as a photographer, as a videographer, or as just a hobbyist in general, then hopefully you enjoy some of this and find this useful. Diving straight into things, let's talk about the camera gear. My camera of choice for photo is I nearly said Canon, is the Leica M11 with a prime lens. At the moment, I'm using the 35mm. I know that us camera people are not that straightforward, and sometimes you want to bring a second camera. And for me, that second photo camera is the Leica MP with a 28mm on it. If we were trying to keep things very minimal, I would suggest just one photo camera, your daily photo camera, and one video camera. Depending on what you're doing, of course, if you're not making videos or you're not making YouTube stuff or you're not making content for social media, then just a photo camera will suffice. That's my photo side of things covered. But then also a phone for filming YouTube videos, getting B-roll, vlogging stuff. But obviously sometimes the phone doesn't provide enough quality. Therefore, I will then use the Canon R6, which is what I'm filming this with. I will then use a 24-70 with the Canon R6. So here's the rundown. I will always take, wherever I'm going, the Canon R6, my iPhone, an M11, and the MP. Already quite a lot of gear. Just to give you some thought process on the M bodies here. I love shooting digital. I love shooting film. I can never really decide what I'm going to prioritize, especially if I'm going on holiday, then I just want to bring both. And you are probably watching this video thinking, Mike, if you're taking the R6 and with the 24-70 on it, then that would cover all photo video content. You're correct, but I just enjoy using these a lot more. So I don't actually shoot any photo on the Canon R6. It's purely for video and things like this. So let's go over that idea very quickly. I think everyone should have a daily photo camera. I assume most of you watching this are photographers. Pick a camera body, pick a lens, and make that your go-to. That's one of my best pieces of advice for anyone that wants to pursue photography generally a little bit more seriously, is find a camera that's really going to work for you and just dig into it and try not alternate between zoom lenses and prime lenses and different cameras. I think it just gets confusing. I know it's easy for me to say that this camera is just the best thing ever, so I can't see myself using anything else, except for when I want to shoot film, and I've got the Leica MP. So I've been in China recently, been to California. I had these with me the entire time. Fortunately, they're not massive. So carrying these two cameras around would maybe be the equivalent of someone carrying around a Sony A1 and a big zoom lens, for example. Photo camera, video camera, and then the third thing you absolutely need, which I can't find, here it is audio. Now, if you're not shooting any video and you're just a photographer, then you don't need to listen to the video audio stuff. But this little DJI mic is fantastic because it records internally. You just press a little red dot, it records onto this, and then I have all my audio for all my travels. I just clip it onto my jacket, onto my hoodie. Everything's on here. I can then sync that up with everything on here, or sync it up with the Canon R6 footage. So then I have video, photo, and audio dialed. However, just in case you're thinking, what other recommendations do I have? You could swap out the Leicas, obviously, for any photo camera of your choice. The Fujifilm X100V often comes with me. And actually, Hannah brings this with her now. She never used to take photographs, but because this camera's lying around, she loves the JPEGs, and we just got back from a trip to California. She had this with her the whole time. So, fantastic camera. Option B for video is the DJI Pocket 3. I think everyone loves this camera. Amazing for vlogging, amazing for just quick B-roll. So easy to use, so small. Will literally fit in your pocket, your hoodie, your jacket, whatever. So a good option instead of using a phone is the DJI Pocket. However, I have been enjoying using Log on my phone for easy B-roll and quick footage more than I've been enjoying the DJI. And a quick 2 cents on this, 2 cents is that when you film something on this, it is very obvious that it's filmed on this because of the stabilization, and the very generic vlogging footage you might get on this does look good. Can't complain. I've used it a lot over recent years, but I think brand new phones actually might look a little bit better. Now, these are like easy go-to choices for filming videos. The most important thing is having audio, honestly. So make sure you invest in something like this, or actually I've got the dual set of DJI mics. Now these are the version 1s, the original ones that came out, but these are great if there's a few of you traveling and you want to dual up the microphones. So if anything, out of all the video stuff, audio is probably the most important here. Talking about the Canon R6 and the 24-70 very quickly, that is a bigger setup. So it doesn't come with me if I'm in the city, if I'm spending a lot of time doing 10, 20, 30,000 steps. If I'm out for a full day, there's a chance that I don't bring the full Canon setup because it's heavier, bulkier, and can get in the way. If, however, we have a base somewhere, or we're in a car and we're jumping in and out and we're coming and going from somewhere, then I'll bring the Canon R6 because it's not on me the entire time. So there is a trade-off, I think, between convenience and lightweightness of these smaller cameras for filming video and quality compared to the Canon R6 with the 24-70, which is just beautiful, filming in C-Log 3, great, amazing travel footage. But if you don't want to carry a big camera around all day, which I don't, then sometimes the Canon setup will stay in the hotel, or if I can leave it in a car while we're coming and going, I'll do that too. Camera bags. Obviously, we need them. So I'm going to highlight a few of my favorites very quickly and talk about when and why I would use them. First of all, you need a main backpack if you're traveling through the airport, going from a hotel to somewhere else or whatever. You're carrying most of your stuff with you. Everything I just mentioned, all my camera gear can fit in here. This is a cooperative of photography. Leica edition. Actually, Leica gave us this when we went to Italy with them last summer. Just a little bit of a brag there, sorry about that. This is a great bag. I think any backpack of your choice here, I'm really not that precious about what you decide. But clearly, this needs to go in the cabin, or this needs to be on you for carrying all your gear. So a backpack of your choice. That's all I really need to say about that. If you decide to shoot film, then you're going to need somewhere to put your film. And it's important to keep it separate because you don't want to go digging for it when you get to the airport. You need them to hand check your film. And this is very easy to carry around. I actually put all my rolls of film in here when I finish shooting with it. And then I keep this very handy, the top of my backpack bag. As soon as I get to security in the airport, I can just show them this and we're good to go. So a separate bag for your film. I highly recommend that. Then we need a sling. And talking of Long Weekend here, big fan of their products and they've got some good stuff. This is the smallest sling I have. And if I'm going out anywhere, perhaps only shooting video on my phone, and maybe only taking one camera body, then my wallet, passport, money, my phone, one of my cameras, it can all go in here. Maybe not all at the same time, but maybe one camera body will go in here, some batteries, maybe some film, and I can pocket my phone or whatever I need to do. So I highly recommend a sling. If I'm spending all day in London, I'll bring this with me. If I'm spending all day in any city and I don't need to bring much gear with me, then a sling like this, I highly recommend. However, I don't use this the most. There is one more bag that I pretty much use every single time. This is a 9-litre Bellroy sling. The reason I bring this everywhere with me is because most of the time I'm shooting with two bodies. I know, it's silly. Say what you want in the comments. I don't care. I'm having a great time. The Leica MP or the Leica M11 will probably be around my neck or around my shoulder. Sometimes they're both out, which is a little bit silly, but that's the case sometimes. So if I am bringing both M bodies with me, then one camera will fit comfortably in here with potentially some film, batteries, passport, wallet, accessories like this for audio. But the main reason I bring this up is because not only does it fit another camera body in there, it specifically fits the Canon R6 and the 24-70 video setup in here, as well as the Leica MP or the M11. And the reason that is important is if I'm taking video stuff more seriously, like recently I just come back from a trip to California with Dave Herring. We went out into the desert and I wanted to film things properly. So I've brought the big bulky Canon setup, but it does fit in here as a sling setup. And I think the main point I want to make here is that this isn't a backpack setup, and I just hate bringing backpacks with me. Like walking anywhere or going anywhere that's not to the hotel room or to the airport, I don't want to carry a backpack around. I'm a big fan of slings. So this covers most ground for me if I'm shooting video with the Canon R6 and I want to also put an M body in here, and I also want to carry an M body. Everything I need that I usually carry with me when I'm out and about, whether I'm in a city or if I'm in a desert or I'm up a mountain. This is the camera sling I have with me. I also want to mention something that might look a bit strange, but this is a piece of leather. Now, I actually got gifted this. A viewer sent me this a few years ago, and if you're watching this, I am very grateful for this gift because I actually use it all the time. So this piece of leather actually has the Leica logo on it. I think you could buy this. I'm not recommending you actually buy the Leica piece of leather. I think this is quite expensive for what it is. But like I said, it was a gift, so very thankful for that. I think having some cloth or piece of material that you can wrap a camera in, like so, is very helpful, especially as this 9-litre Bellroy sling doesn't have any dividers inside. So if I do have multiple camera bodies in here, 2 Leicas sat next to each other, maybe the M11 and the Canon R6 sat next to each other in here, they don't scratch and get damaged rubbing up against each other. So this piece of leather, very strange recommendation for me, and I know we're still talking about camera bags here, actually has been very, very useful. So if your camera bag or your sling has dividers, don't worry about it. But if you're thinking about getting the 9-litre Bellroy sling, it doesn't have dividers, grab yourself something like this. Before I dive into some extra bits and bobs, some miscellaneous items that are helpful when traveling, if you're someone that is making videos while you're traveling, or generally speaking, if you're someone that makes videos yourself, I have something that could be very helpful, and that is coming to you from the guys over at Storyblocks. This sounds impressive to say, but Storyblocks have a huge library of photos, videos, music, sound effects, and templates. And the best thing about using Storyblocks is that there is a plugin straight into Premiere Pro, so I don't need to leave my timeline or project when browsing for that stuff. Long story short, they have unlimited downloads of diverse and high quality media for one predictable subscription cost. And all the music you can hear right now is from Storyblocks. And something I do like is that everything on there is human made, not generative AI. So real music, real videos made by real people. It's good to know. So if you're traveling, making videos, or even if you're at home making videos, Storyblocks could be very helpful for you. Whether you need stock footage, music, templates, sound effects, Storyblocks is there to help. Get started with unlimited stock media downloads at one set price. Head to storyblocks.com/Mike Chudley or click the link in the description. Thanks to Storyblocks for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. Thank you. Let's talk bits and bobs. I don't know if this needs to be said or not, but bring loads of batteries. I have 2 extra batteries, so that's 3 batteries in total for the Leica M11. And sometimes if you're traveling anywhere slightly remote or you're staying overnight somewhere that you're unsure of, you don't know what the charging situation is going to be. I mean, it's probably going to be okay, but just having more batteries with you is not a bad idea because sometimes you forget to charge things, sometimes it's late, you want to go to bed, yada, yada, yada. Batteries are not heavy. They're easy to carry everywhere. Just bring extra batteries. It's never been a problem when I've brought extra batteries, but it is a problem if you don't bring enough batteries. So I also have 3 batteries for the X100V as well. If we're talking about batteries, it's a pretty obvious one. I think we should also mention SD cards. I have quite a few here. Now, sometimes I might take 5 or 6 of these out, so then I only have 5 or 6 left. That's still probably overkill. Similar to the battery situation, I'd rather have too much storage than not enough storage. So this isn't too much to bring with me, especially if it sits in my backpack and it stays in the hotel or it stays in the car or whatever. You only need 1 or 2 SD cards at any one time, but well, it's never a problem if you have more than you need. Talking about storage brings me on to this little fella. This is a 2TB Lexar SSD. Any SSD of your choosing will be fine, but also having more storage than you need and not just relying on your laptop or whatever internal storage you have anywhere, like just keeping everything on your phone, it's probably not a good idea either. So the good thing about this Lexar SSD is that it does MagSafe to my phone. So if I'm shooting in the Blackmagic camera app, which I sometimes am doing, all the footage gets stored onto my hard drive, which is just smart organization. So I have a few of these. Sometimes I bring a handful of these if I'm traveling, but you should definitely at least bring 1 extra SSD. I actually think it's a pretty elite move to have loads of cables. I am not shy about packing my bag with multiple USB-Cs, lightning bolt, USB-A, different adapters. Just go for it, especially because you're bringing a backpack or a suitcase, right? So throw all your cables in there. And I love being in a situation where other people might not have packed so efficiently and everyone around you needs cables and you've got loads to go around. So be that guy. Just carry loads of cables with you. Why not? And then also, you're going to need a plug depending on where you're going. I have this, which I just used in the States. It has 3 USB-Cs and a USB-A. Baller. And then this is a pretty universal wall plug. Big fan of extra batteries, extra storage. The convenience of it all completely outweighs carrying it, because carrying it's not a big deal. These are pretty easy to take everywhere. Maybe I should clarify though that this isn't coming with me in my Sling everywhere I go. I just keep these in the hotel or in the car. So yeah, why not? Headphones. That's pretty important if you're traveling. These are the Sony something. I'll put these on screen if you're interested. They're pretty good, but they're not as good as the Bose Quiet Comforts, which I had for... These are not as good as the Bose Quiet Comforts that I had for 5 or 6 years. They are very good. They are just, weirdly, it's just a user thing. I think the Bose Quiet Comforts are just excellent quality, but also easy to use. These are also easy to use, but I think when you turn these on, it takes a second or two, and you can't quite connect it as easily as you could the Bose, I found, to devices. But I left my Bose headphones on a plane, never got them back again, so I picked these up quite recently. Or you could just use AirPods, which is a very easy choice when traveling. Okay, now my desk is a complete mess. Let's try and wrap this up as concise as possible, just to give you a quick overview. If I'm at my destination and I'm taking my photography seriously and I'm out shooting, 1 camera body, 1 lens. That could be whatever you need it to be. For me, it's the Leica M11 and the 35mm, or it could be the MP. This is already not that concise because I know we love camera gear, so I always have too much stuff with me. Even as I make this video, I realize I could streamline this, but it's pretty perfect so far, so I'm happy with what's going on. They're my photography cameras. If I'm shooting on any of those and I need B-roll, I need to film, I need to vlog, maybe I'm making a YouTube video, then I use my phone or I use the Pocket. But whatever I use, I definitely use the DJI mic. Now, if things are extra serious and I don't mind having the faff of a bigger camera, then I will have either my photo cameras, probably both of them, and my Canon R6, which I'm filming with now, with the 24-70. I definitely don't bring any other lenses for the Canon setup because that setup is purely for video. It's already big enough. I don't want to carry any more than that. Typically, if I'm out and about, it's the Bellroy Sling, maybe these 2 for film photography, digital photography, and the Canon R6. Sometimes though, actually maybe 50% of the time, I don't have the Canon R6 with me and I just have my photo setup with my phone and the DJI mic. Does that make sense? Hopefully that explains all the bits and bobs, camera gear of choice. And I don't know, it's a lot of stuff, even with me trying to streamline and keep it minimal and keep it efficient and keep my organization as good as it can be. Oh, I didn't mention my laptop. The MacBook 14-inch that fits in whatever backpack I need. Maybe don't forget your passport as well. That's pretty important.